And we are live, and I'm live with special guest, Ben Steiner. How are you feeling, Ben?
I'm pretty good, especially we just watched a fantastic match in the Concacaf Nations League.
Yep. Inaugural CONCACAF Nations League final. USA Honduras, USA defeating Honduras, Mexico Costa Rica. That one went to pens. Mexico prevailed. Costa Rica lost to Honduras in the third place match. That was also a good game. That one went down to the wire as well. That one went down to pens. A very entertaining. I have my TV still on here. I was still tuned into the game. I'm still plugged in. Still plugged in. So that Costa Rica Honduras game was very entertaining as well. I must say that. And then we had the creme de la creme, the final between the two best teams in CONCACAF. I don't mean to offend you. I know Ben's a Canadian
Come on,
fan,
come on.
but he himself would actually acknowledge that Canada, they aren't up there yet. They can compete, but they're not up there amongst the best of the best. But we saw the best of the best against each other today. Mexico versus the USA on US soil, with the USA going against all odds to defeat Mexico 3-2 after extra time to win the inaugural CONCACAF Nations League. The last time the USA defeated Mexico in a competitive game was back in 2013. So this is big.
It's big on the one hand, right? But also look at the American lineup. How many times have the American team had a full contingent of their top players? You're talking about a lineup with guys from Chelsea winning the Champions League week ago. You're talking guys from Juventus. You're talking guys playing in the top division in Germany. Is it really unexpected that the U.S. was able to beat Mexico? Sure, it hasn't happened in a while, but going into this match, I would have thought the U.S. is the favorite against Mexico because you just look at what they've done at the club level. Sure, you can't rely on Pulisic to completely run the show. Of course, he won it with a beautiful penalty. But when you look at the two rosters, Mexico, yes, their domestic league is fantastic, but they still have a lot of talent in that domestic league on the national team. Where the U.S., on the other hand, is playing at some of the biggest clubs in the world. Same goes for Canada, actually.
You just had to throw the Canada one in there, but look, I am I like what I see with the Canadian team. Just so don't get me wrong, but look, the USA, it got good talent on paper. I know Juventus in Weston McKennie, Gio Reyna at Dortmund. You got Christian Pulisic, who plays for Chelsea, just won the Champions League, and a man is lifting another trophy in the space of what, a week or so? Like, come on, man. Like, Christian Pulisic, he's on top of the world right now, Captain America. And the boys must feel proud of themselves because I didn't expect this, to be honest. Because come on, even though you know what you just said about the American players playing at some top teams, you have guys like Timothy Weah just won league on with Lille. You have Sibachu playing for young boys who have been in the Champions League recently. Mark McKenzie, he's playing in Genk in the Belgian league. John Brooks just made the Champions League with Wolfsburg. So there's a lot of quality in the 11. There's lot of quality in the squad. But the thing with the USA team is that these guys have not been together a lot. They have not been together for a long time. They're a very young bunch. They're part of a project. And this would be a big boost. This would be a big feather in Greg Berhalter's cap, winning the Nations League, beating Mexico. And it would be a step in the right direction here. But I'm not going to say I expected this. I'm not going to say I expected this because Mexico on any given day are the better team. And it has proven to be so over the life of the two teams coming up against each other, where Mexico has the better head to head. Like, it's been 8 years since the USA beat Mexico in a competitive game, 3 years in a friendly in any competition. So I didn't expect it, and I have to say, now I look back at it, that Mexico may have underestimated this USA national team, because when you look at the starting 11, them not starting Guardado. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's
Exactly.
your captain. That's your talisman. Linez. Look at how well he played when he came on. Maybe Mexico, they got it wrong. Tata Martino got it wrong on the night. And even though I do not want to give Greg Berhalter all this credit, he does deserve some credit. He did it. He did
He,
it.
he did do it. And I mean, the U.S., whether it's Nations League and what you take Nations League for as a cash grab sort of thing, but he won a trophy. When was the last time the U.S. actually won a trophy that wasn't the Gold Cup, right?
Yes.
So sure, this is more sort of a secondary CONCACAF tournament. I would still say the Gold Cup is sort of the premier tournament for CONCACAF. And of course, we've got that later this summer. But Greg Berhalter delivered a trophy to U.S. soccer. On the men's side, that hasn't happened in a long time. So there's a definite success there. But what's the next step, and how is this win tonight going to grow U.S. soccer to becoming the next Mexico and get to the heights that Mexico's gotten, get to the heights of Brazil, Germany, and the top teams, even England, because you want to get to the World Cup. The biggest goal in international soccer is, of course, winning the World Cup, right? And this is a step in the right direction. It's a fantastic step. You get a nice pat on the back, maybe have a few cold ones if you're over 21. But it's not the World Cup, right? Sure, the new trophy looks sort of similar to the World Cup, but it's not the World Cup. You want to win the World Cup. U.S. wasn't at the last World Cup. Trinidad, fortunately, is out of the way in World Cup qualifying now, so you can't trip over that one. But what's this going to do? Is this going to be an experience that the U.S. is able to push up to that next level? Or do the players feel a sense of accomplishment now, and are they going to sit back for the rest of their careers and we'll have to wait for another generation? I would like to think it's probably the first option, but it'll certainly be interesting to see where this group grows and if Berhalter is the guy to lead them to a World Cup, like the actual trophy, not just a quarterfinal or even a semifinal. Because Berhalter, he's still an MLS coach, right? Like he's still an American coach with an American style of play. And does that have success on the world level? We're not sure yet. It hasn't so far, but there's never been a group like the U.S. have right now.
Yeah. Well said. Well said, Ben. Well said. To answer your question, I think this is the step in the right direction, big time, because if it had gone the other way, if we had the inverse result where Mexico won the inaugural Nations League, it was the Mexican fans celebrating, Guardado lifting the trophy, Greg Berhalter with the long face, Christian Pulisic with the long face, it would have been a step backwards. It would have been a situation like you're in your car, you end up in a situation where you want to hit the forward gear, but you put your car in reverse and you hit the gas. You're like, you see? So nothing good could come out of that. You're going to hit something behind. So this is the step in the right direction for the USA. And it's a huge step. It's a huge psychological boost. Be in Mexico. You know what's going to happen now? These boys are going to feel like they could beat Mexico come next month in the Gold Cup if they do meet each other. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. And I think this is a final that we're going to probably see in a few months anyways in the Gold Cup as well. So these two groups of players are going to get very familiar with each other. And they'll probably walk right through the Gold Cup because if you look at the other teams, they're still in World Cup qualifying and they'll be trying to make it through World Cup qualifying. And with that, a lot of teams are going to be sending B squads. What the USA and Mexico have is depth, immense depth. And so they can send almost a B squad to the World Cup qualifying and they can send an A squad to the Gold Cup or vice versa. So the U.S. is able to be competitive across the board. The same goes for Mexico, whereas other countries, even Canada, don't necessarily have that depth to be able to go into two tournaments basically at the same time, one right after the other, and be competitive and be able to win. And so the U.S. is going to go into the tournament. Sure, it might be a little more MLS heavy, but it's still going to be very talented. And I think they'll be going up against Mexico with some fantastic confidence when they meet in the Gold Cup.
definitely on point. What is the reasoning behind people thinking that teams are going to go into the Gold Cup with B squads, though?
Well, I think it's because the World Cup qualifying is right after it.
When is the World Cup qualifying? Isn't it in September?
World Cup qualifying begins in July. And
Oh,
the
we
Gold
have
Cup,
we have work. I didn't even realize that we had World Cup qualifying in July as well.
yeah.
We
So
we usually don't.
yeah, it's definitely a different situation because we usually have never seen the octagonal either. It's always been the hexagonal for the first few or for the last few World Cup cycles. So it's an extended system. You're playing 7 games home and away against each team. The World Cup is at a completely different time as well. So all of the qualifications have shifted in the calendar as well. And so you have this weird thing where are European clubs going to want their players playing 15 games in the summer? Probably not. And you're already playing a ton of games in the Gold Cup, grueling tournament football, and then World Cup qualifying as well. And if you're Mexico, of course, you're sort of expected to qualify for the World Cup. If you're the US, yes, you're expected to qualify for the World Cup, but there was a certain trip up last time, and that was with a decent group. Sure, the Clint Dempsey's, Brad Guzan's wasn't the level that the US has now. But I think if you're the US, you've got to send your top team to the World Cup qualifying, because if you miss out on the World Cup again, man, there's going to be some massive navel gazing that you're going to have to do, because Taylor Twellman said what he said after 2018. I can't imagine what would happen if they don't qualify for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. And so you send your top team to the World Cup qualifiers, you send a bit of A-, B+ team to the Gold Cup, and you hope for the best of the Gold Cup. Maybe some players can do both, but I think for the US, especially, in Canada as well, sending their top players to the World Cup qualifiers has to be the utmost priority.
Well said, Ben. You're very knowledgeable. I gotta have you on a bit more often. So
come on whenever.
yeah, we have Thriller, very good supporter. He says COVID done effed up the entire schedule, and I'm with you. Because, to be honest, right, I wasn't even aware. I'm a guy. I've been covering the World Cup qualifiers for every confederation, but I'm going month by month, international break by international break, and I kid you not, I did not realize that there was another international break in terms of World Cup qualifiers in July.
July, goes into August too.
I was thinking that it's September. Usually we have games in September. We don't really have nothing we have tournaments in June, July, and then August, the Premier League restarts and everything, and other leagues restart. But I didn't realize that we're gonna have this going on. It's like what's going on right now in June. We have so many games in Asian World Cup qualifiers and so on. But not to stray too far from the topic, we are talking about the USA winning the Concacaf Nations League 3-2 against Mexico. In this game, we had a goal in the first minute by Jesus Corona. It was a mistake by Mark McKenzie, pounced on by the Mexican team and put away by Corona. I think Zach Steffen could have done a lot better in that situation, but it was a good shot and very, very early mishap from the USA. And I thought the game was heading in Mexico's favor, but then the USA clawed themselves back in the game. Gio Reyna with a 27-minute goal after Weston McKennie header off the post. McKennie, man of the match, of course. Brilliant game by Weston McKennie. And it was 1-1 going into the second half, where it was very poised. It was level, 50-50 affair, very cagey second half. Diego Lainez came on. Changes were made. Changes were called for by myself and the subscribers watching the watch along. And we had 2 quick goals, 79-minute goal by Diego Lainez, and Weston McKennie scored in the 82nd minute after Greg Berhalter looked him in the eye and he said, Weston, go out there and deliver me. Deliver me a goal. Okay? Deliver me a win here. We need this. We need this psychological advantage over Mexico. And so he did. He equalized after that brilliant goal by Diego Lainez. The game went into extra time, and it was a cagey affair. A lot of controversial moments. Christian Pulisic was given a penalty in the 114th minute. On first glance, I know, Ben, you caught the game late because you had prior arrangements, engagements, whatever you were doing. But the extra time, it was some exciting stuff. The game was a thriller. It was a classic of a final, and it was a very dramatic affair. The Mexican fans were on their worst behavior, like Drake, very, very bad. The USA fans were well behaved, and we had projectiles being thrown at players after Christian Pulisic's goal. Penalty was given. He dispatched his goal brilliantly. And Gio Reyna was hit in the head by a projectile in the celebration, 3-2. But it wasn't finished there. Mexico had a penalty of their own. Guardado, after a handball by Kellen Acosta, Guardado stepped up, and it was saved by the substitute goalkeeper, Ethan Hovart, who is the unsung hero tonight, because I thought when Hovart came on, it was game over. It was game over for the USA because Zach Steffen, the number one, who did a pretty good job, pulled off a big save from Chucky Lozano, who should have put that away. And Lozano, he fought on during the game, but it's the moment where Guardado, the captain, I think he's the most capped player ever for Mexico, had an opportunity to put the game level, take it to penalties, where Guillermo Ochoa may have been the favorite of the two goalkeepers, and it was a big save. What a moment. What a momentous moment in his career for Ethan Hovart, who plays his football in Belgium with Club Bruges. Don't know much about him, haven't seen him, but the man came out and he's a hero. They might be looking to put Hovart in as the number one now. He was damn good. So the USA held on. There was a few more, fights. A lot of fights in the game. Players fighting against each other. It's Mexico, USA. The rivalry is red hot. The crowd throwing projectiles again. A Mexican player even caught one in the head as well. So it was a lot of passion, a lot of fight shown on the night. And we love it. It's entertainment, and we were entertained. Are you not entertained? Yes, I was. USA 3, Mexico 2, the USA champions of the inaugural Concacaf Nations League. Ben, your overall, well, you asked the questions. I want you to answer the questions. I want you to answer one particular question. The USA, this young bunch of players, they fielded the second youngest ever team fielded by the US team against Honduras, 2026 World Cup. This team, do you see this team heading in the right direction? Do you see them qualifying for the World Cup? What are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah, they're going to qualify for 2022. I think with this group, led by Greg Berhalter and, of course, Christian Pulisic on the pitch, the U.S. has to qualify for the 2022 World Cup. I think they'll get through the octagonal fairly easy. It'll be Mexico, it'll be the U.S., and then I don't really know who's going to grab that third spot. And then in terms of 2026, when the World Cup is in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, well, is winning the World Cup in the cards there? Maybe the World Cup title is actually in the cards. I don't think the U.S. are going to get better. But I think it also sort of matters about the talent dispersion around the world between the other countries, because as football continues to grow around the world, are the top teams going to be solely Spanish? Are they solely going to be German? Or are they going to be like Bayern Munich, where you have a Canadian in the lineup at a position that a German used to play? So it's becoming a lot more widespread talent around the world in the top leagues. And so you don't necessarily have an FC Barcelona or a Spanish team that's half Barcelona and half Madrid. You have a Spanish team that's more around the world. You have a US team that's around the world playing in the best leagues. MLS, of course, is getting better by the year. And even the lower leagues in the US are helping develop talent there. So the US could be in a position to have their first real kick at the can at the World Cup in 2026 when it's in the US.
Well said. We also have a Spanish team without any Real Madrid players, you know.
Exactly.
So you could see how things are headed in the future. But USA are headed in the right direction. But it's such a thin line between them headed in the right direction and them headed in the wrong direction, because if this game had, let's say, gone down to penalties and they lost the game, people would have maybe not criticized them too much, but still Mexico would have been like, "Yay, we won the game. Boo." You see what I'm saying? So this is huge. This I don't think people understand how big this is big.
Oh
I
yeah,
think, yeah,
this is big.
to beat Mexico even in a friendly is big. So the Mexicans, believe me, they are hurt. Tata Martino even got a red card for protesting, and Mexico, they were protesting the penalty. But when you look back at the penalty, it was a dumb tackle by the Mexican player. I can't remember who it was exactly, but if an attacker is in your box, you can't just fling your body in front of the player like that to impede the path of the player he never attempted to play the ball. So it was a penalty. In real time, it looked like Christian Pulisic went down too easy. I was saying, Christian Pulisic, get up, get up, get up. But he went down. He was taken out by the player. You got to give Christian Pulisic the credit as well for having ice water in his veins. No blood, just ice water, and stepping up to the spot, putting the ball away. Guardado failed to do so. So who gets the credit on the night? Christian Pulisic. We know how good he is. The man has lifted 2 big trophies in the last 2 weeks. Chelsea, can't ignore this now. He would want to start. He would want to be starting every game for Chelsea. So that would do a lot for his confidence. Even though I think he needs to get more involved in the game. Sometimes he drifts in and out of games for the USA, as we have seen in the last 2. But Weston McKennie, oh man, what a talent this guy is. And the fact that he's getting to rub shoulders with Cristiano Ronaldo, guys like Dejan Kulusevski, Federico Chiesa, and so on and so forth. It's just mind-blowing. And you could see some of the recruitment that the USA have been doing in terms of bringing in Sibachu, in terms of Yunus Musa, having these guys play for the USA, Sergino Dest, and the list goes on. There's a few players who needs to work on their game. They need a few brushing up. But tonight you have to look at the positives, and the positive is that the USA defeated Mexico, the best team in Concacaf. And when you beat the best, you do feel like you're the best, and you do feel invincible. You do feel like you're heading in the right direction, and all good things are going to happen day after. But what Berhalter has to take from this is to just go back and just take a look and say, okay, how can I improve? How can I solidify a status now that we have shown that we are coming of age as a unit again? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying, but I think if Mexico had won this match, right, it's just another feather in their cap, right? They're a historic footballing nation. They've done fantastic over the years. For the U.S., this goes down as another 2-0. Like, this will be referenced as much as that, because this game had immense importance. When, the U.S. very rarely wins the Gold Cup and prevails over Mexico. So the U.S. hoisting a trophy in front of Mexico is big anywhere. This one was in the U.S., so the U.S. have a bit more of a home advantage. Sure, there were a lot of Mexicans there, though, in the limited capacity crowd. But when Pulisic scored his goal, that was in the Mexican fans' end. And there's nothing better you can do than to, score a penalty in front of the opposing fans. To score it like that, to put it top shelf, man, that was risky from Pulisic to do that. But it certainly looks good on a highlight reel, and a lot better than what Cuadrado did at the other end, because with that, sure, Horvath made the save, but it was a terrible penalty. And I'm sure maybe even you get a USL goalie, and a USL goalie stopping that if he guesses right. So great save by Horvath. bad penalty, but an even better penalty by Pulisic. And this match is just going to springboard the U.S. to further success down the line, both in the region and hopefully on the world stage.
Well said. Well said. What are your thoughts on what would be the ramifications now for the Mexican team losing this one? Do they have to now step back and look at their squad, look at their lineup, look at their team and say, hey man, whoa, we just got upended by the USA and we did not beat Costa Rica, and Honduras looks good too. And you have Jamaica trying to get their act together. Look, I see I have the boy Coach's desk in here who also runs his own channel. Coach Jamaica. Haha, bro. You guys are in for something. I've been saying this. Jamaica are in for something. Listen. Look, Ben, Canada, in for something. Look, I really like the quality that we're seeing right now in CONCACAF. Really like the quality. You see what I mean? So it's gonna be interesting to see who makes it to the hex, the octagonal, not the hex. Yeah, let's see who makes it to the octagonal, and let's see how this goes. Because, as you said, this would be priority. This would definitely be priority. The World Cup, getting to the World Cup would be priority. It's fine if you go to the Gold Cup and you take a second string team and you don't do too well, or who knows, you might take a second string to the World Cup and make stars out of those guys. You see, so look, it's on. This thing has this win for the USA is gonna see this could potentially see a paradigm shift in CONCACAF, or who knows. Because you might head in the right direction and win something and then regress. Let's hope that the USA does not regress and this is progress and they move forward under Greg Berhalter. Let's give him the credit. He did some things and it worked out. Questionable things, but still it worked out. And we could all say, yeah, it worked out fine. But if they had lost the game, we could have said, why did he take off Dest and bring on a Weah or whatnot? So, yeah. But congratulations to the USA on that triumph against Mexico, because it means a lot. It means a lot. So, big up to everybody in the chat right about now. Guys, look, Ben, any more thoughts? Don't want to make this one too long. We've been going 27 minutes. You've made some great points, and we've been dropping fire. We've been dropping fire all night. So, guys, if you have any questions for Ben, leave it in the chat, and he will be he will gladly answer your questions. And we don't want to make it too long, but if anybody have any question for Ben, he's a Canadian fan. We could actually he could actually answer that question, just to do like a little segment here. So we have
I think in terms of CONCACAF improving and a lot more depth sort of heading into the next round of World Cup qualifying, that has to be seen as a win, right? Because Canada becoming good, Honduras improving, and maybe Mexico maybe regressing a little, the US improving, just becoming fantastic all around as a confederation. It's definitely an improvement from what we saw before, where Costa Rica sort of sputtered their way to a World Cup where they did fairly well. But it's definitely nice to see some competition, and I'm sure a lot of the Caribbean islands will start to get a lot better as well. You see some competition now from Suriname, Curacao. So all in all, when the bottom nations get better, the US and Mexico will get more tests in the region and improve as well at the top. I see there's a question in the chat there. My thoughts on Liam Miller. He had a good season when he was with Charlton this year. Is he a fantastic player of David, Pulisic on the US? No, I don't think he's there. Sure, he's a member of Liverpool and loaned out to Charlton, but he's still a very good player, and he played yesterday for Canada in their 7-0 win against Aruba. I think he's a good player. There's not much I see him doing in the Premier League, but I think he'll become a very serviceable championship player. Maybe the level of Junior Hoylett sort of on the wing. of course, Junior Hoylett playing a number of years for Cardiff City in the championship.
Well said. Well said. I'm not too familiar with this young player, but you're more well versed in these type of things. But I see that he plays for Liverpool. Not plays, but he's owned by Liverpool. So he's at a quality club, and playing in the championship is a good step because you never know. You have a good season in the championship, you might end up anywhere. Look at guys like Omar Richards, who's going to Bayern Munich. You see, Jude Bellingham, who's playing for Dortmund and found himself in the English national team. You see what I mean? So big up to Brian Maldonado, who says Concacaf is very competitive, and I've really enjoyed the Concacaf games that I've seen. You see what I mean? I really, really enjoy the games, and I was like, I'm so busy watching all these European games all the time because we don't really get these competitive games in CONCACAF that often. I've actually covered the last 2 Gold Cups on my channel. So those were epic as well, from the 2017 Gold Cup to the 2019 those were, fun doing. And what I've seen, it's like, I don't know what it is. Maybe I just missed the CONCACAF football, but watching Costa Rica against Honduras, that was so good. USA against Honduras, Costa Rica, Mexico, it was good. And the octagonal is going to be nice. It's going to be nice. So I have Thriller saying, this guy is good, Dom. He speaks well and knows his stuff. Need him back on the channel. Look, man, I was talking to my wife, right? And I was telling my wife, I said, wife, do you know networking could get you some jobs that degrees can't get you, qualifications can't get you these jobs. And I'm not the type of guy, to be honest, that goes out and look for people to come on my channel. And I am not the type of guy, I've never been the type of guy that went out and looked for women. Women always come to me. You see what I'm saying? And good people would always come to you. You know what I mean? You would attract, you attract your tribe. And I don't know. You commented, we spoke in the comments, and here we are. And it's been good. And I said to myself, we're supposed to talk about Suriname and Canada. And I said, just ask him if he want to come on right now. And you came on, and it's been fire. It's been fire. I'm saying. Big up to Fabio. Fabio, my mind ran on you yesterday. I was like, I haven't seen Fabio in a minute, though. I haven't seen you in a minute. So look, man, it has been fun. We could go on and on and on and on and on. You know that. We know that. But just to wrap things up on this game, USA 3, Mexico 2. USA with 14 shots at goal, 7 on target, compared to Mexico's 21 shots at goal, 7 on target. They were wasteful, but you also have to give credit to both Zach Steffen and Ethan Hovart, who shared the duty in goal tonight. Mexico with most of the ball with 57%, USA 43%. And in terms of passes, passing accuracy a bit low, with Mexico 577 passes, 79% pass accuracy. The USA 416 with a 71% pass accuracy. The game did get feisty with a total of 31 fouls, 18 committed by the USA. There was a few fights. We knew what happened. These guys were at each other's necks, and these guys are serious. These guys like to hate each other, it seems. You know what I'm saying? It seems like there's no friends across these teams. So, but that's the way we want to see it. We don't want to see a rivalry where everybody's kissing and hugging and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like the Manchester derbies of late. And we don't want to see that. We want to see fights. Round 1, fight to the death.
And tonight's fight in the Concacaf Nations League was a lot better than Jake Paul, a fellow YouTuber, fighting against Floyd Mayweather, and that was a terrible fight. I know there's some people who think that Jake Paul won. You just look at that. I don't think Jake Paul won. I think Floyd Mayweather won.
I think it was Logan Paul, right? Logan Paul.
I get the two mixed up. They look. I think it was Logan Paul. You're right, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Logan Paul. So, guys, this has been a review slash reaction of the Concacaf Nations League final by your boy Ben and Dom. You'll see us again. You'll see us again pretty soon. I've just done a what was it, 3.5 hour live watch along, and this has gone on 34 minutes. So you know what that's gonna do to my voice, okay? So I gotta Ben and I gotta do something as well, really quick. So we have to call it a night. We'll talk again soon, guys. We talk again soon. So Ben, where could they find you?
Yeah, you guys can find me at Ben Steiner00 on Twitter. It's pretty easy to find. Just simple first name, EI for Steiner in the last name. That nice and easy to find me on Twitter. So if you want me to find me there, I'm there. And we also do a Canada Soccer preview show for all the Canada Soccer games. And if you're an MLS fan, we've got a preview show for all the Vancouver Whitecaps games if you want to hear more from me on those. So I'm mainly on Twitter, also on YouTube a bit. But yeah, follow me on Twitter at Ben Steiner00.
Ben Steiner 00, guys. You heard it. You heard the man. You heard the man. You heard the man. You'll see him again soon. So if you didn't get it, don't worry. You'll see him pretty soon. So look, guys, friend boy Dominic Rich, Ben Steiner 00, you know, like 007. Thanks for watching. Congrats to the USA. Hard luck to Mexico. And until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. Peace.